here. It is 7:20 a.m. on Monday, the uh, the third, and we're giving you update on our portfolio and our SHIB, and it's been atrocious this week. I think a lot of people are down on the SHIB right now because how low it's got. But honestly, right now, I believe, and again, I have to a disclaimer, I'm not telling you what to do, okay? And if it goes down even further, then I'm going to lose big time anyway. I'm actually down on my profit now. I'm always transparent in what I say. The actual SHIB now is not in profit anymore. It was in profit at 10,000. Now we're actually down $2,000. But our unrealized profit and loss is almost $6,000 now. But we're holding on for dear life, okay? If we make or break, that's the way it's going to be. That's the way we've done it. That's the way we've decided to do it. And that's the way we're going to continue to do it. But what I'm going to tell you right now, and going by statistics wise, okay, and I always am a statistics person, and I've always run everything statistically wise. So when I run something statistically wise, and many people do the same thing, at this period of time, the actual SHIB is almost at the lowest it has been for a year. So if we go to the graph and we look over a period of time and we look at our SHIB and we look at the graph of where it is, it's almost at the bottom level. So when it's almost at the bottom level, when it was at first came out and no one knew about SHIB, okay, if you had to put $100 in SHIB at that period of time and the way it went up, the crazy amount that it spiked, you'd have been a millionaire. For your $100, you'd have been a millionaire. Unfortunately, I got in. I was told about it. I didn't do it. I got in after the surge when it peaked. When it peaked to the top, I jumped in. And then it just drastically went all the way back down. Again, I have been building my SHIB up to a quite a substantial amount, I feel, for a portfolio anyway. And it's hurting to see it fall so dramatically. There's almost $13,000 invested in this SHIB right now, and I've only got $8,481 of it. But it's at the lowest point right now, and what I can be losing could be your gain. So if you decide to now put in maybe $500 to $1,000 worth of SHIB, you might have a good chance going here, okay? They're still predicting, and they still have said that the whales are coming in. When it's going low, what's happening is a lot of people are pulling out. When a lot of people are pulling out, it gives the opportunity for the whales to come back in. So once they catch it, they're getting more. They're going to obviously make more profit. So if she goes up another 300%, or supposedly at the bottom level right now, they're actually talking about that it could actually go up 3,000%. I would love that if that was the case, because that would get me back out of the doldrums and back into my profit margin where I need to be. But right now, I'm going to show you the unrealized profit and loss is $6,221.27. Okay, if we look at the show the details and we look down here, my actual loss is $4,409.81. Okay, this hurt, guys. I'm telling you, this in the last month, this has caused this to happen. Okay, but I'm going to rely on the statistics. It's going to go back up. Now, this was $5,000 down, okay? Yesterday, it was $5,000 down. It is now 4,411. And if you watch the ticker, which is a good thing, the ticker is actually starting to go down, not go back up. If we see that thing starting to go back up, we're in trouble again because it's dropped its low level and it's going down even further. But honestly, if we look at the statistics, all right, and we're going to look at the statistics, and that's what we need to do. Now, people are going to see this, and if it takes off, then you're going to subscribe to me and you're going to say, oh, Steve was right. But statistical wise, it's not me. It's a lot of other people that are saying that get into SHIB now. Wales are doing it. And I'm talking about they're spending millions on SHIB right now to get in, which in my point of view is going to bring the price back up. People are burning, okay? There's a lot of burning going on, which actually puts the value of the coin back up. But you have to have a lot of it to be able to make money on it. If this coin goes back up to even 1/fraction of a penny, and it gets up to 1/fraction of a penny, I will make $1 million on 1/fraction of a penny. If it gets up to 1 penny, I will make $4 million. 1 penny on 1 penny. I'm not presuming that's going to happen. They have given prediction by the end of 2030 that it can make a penny. Okay? They have predicted that it can make a penny. If I hold on for that period of time, 5 years' time, I will be a millionaire 4 times over if it gets to the penny. I don't really care about getting to the penny. I want it to get to the fraction of the penny. If it can get to the fraction of the penny, then we can presume by statistic-wise, in 2 years, it can get to a fraction of a penny and I'll be a millionaire. Again, this is statistics, guys, okay? I'm not bragging about it, anything like that. I'm just giving statistics in regards of what possibly could happen, okay? There's no guarantee in anything. This could crash and burn, just like it did with the Terra platform. Crashed and burned. $13,000 I had of profit went in 1 whole week. It crashed and burned and took the lot. But that was under the Terra platform, and that was what you call the stable coin, which literally crashed, okay? And they had their own stable coin, and that's what crashed. That's what caused the whole thing. That caused their coin to literally plummet. Like a total nosedive, like a jet going all the way down and hitting the ground. That's how bad it was, okay? I don't see this happening with SHIB. There's too many people in SHIB for that to happen, okay? There's too many people that would lose a fortune on SHIB because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have SHIB, okay? I don't believe that it's going to crash to the point. I believe it's going to get to the point, the lowest point. And if we look at statistics on the lowest point, so let's just check the lowest point where we feel. So right now, if you look at the graph, this is the graph the way it's running right now on a daily graph. You see it actually went all the way down to this point here, okay? So that was around 1,200. It's not showing it right now, but that was around the 1,200 region, or 13 if you have a look there. Now you can see 1268, 12 region right now. It's moving back up now. It's up to the 1476 or so. It was actually 1450. So the graph is showing progressively. We've missed our down run now. And if we look at our scale and we look at on a 45-degree angle, it's going back up, okay? So the 45-degree angle in the day is showing that it's going back up. But overall, we don't look at the day part. We look at the overall statistics of what it's been doing over a period of time. If we look at in the hour, you can see drastically we've got a good turnover, okay? We got from the lowest angle, we're going on a 45-degree and we're continuing to go up. XYP did this run, okay? It went from 14 cents to around $3. It's declined again, okay? XRP. We got into it to a certain point. We made money on it, and now we pulled it all out and we put it back in the SHIB. because we believe that SHIB is going to take off again. We're taking the risk. We are risk takers, okay? When you're in crypto, you're a risk taker. Simple as that, all right? So we're now going to take the risk to see what happens, all right? And we're going to keep you updated on our portfolios, and we'll continue to update you on the portfolio to see how it goes. Will we crash or burn, or are we going to get out of the doldrums again? So what I want to show you is if we basically go back to a 6 month period, 6 months period, we're still losing on the graph, okay? In 6 months, you'll see, not a lot, but you see we got a downtrend, and we got a big downtrend. This is where the crash came in, guys, all right? If you can see it right now on the graph, see where the crash is. It's literally gone down vertically, not even on an angle. It's literally gone down 90-degree angle all the way straight down. That's not good. That was not a good run. And this is what's hurt everybody right now. That depletion of dropping down so drastically is caused a lot of people to sell their SHIB because it's what you call, they panicked. They've panicked. But what happens is the whales will pick it up when it gets to the bottom end. Okay, which they're going to make a fortune out of SHIB. Okay, all they need to do is make a 10% raise or 30%, and they've made themselves $1 million with all the money that they've put into it. We in the small fry are the ones that suffer for it. Okay, we're the ones that are going to be suffering for it. But as long as the burn rate continues, it will put the value of the SHIB to move it back up again. Okay. People are going to buy back in when it gets lower. They're not right now because they're panicking, okay? But the opportunists will take that and assume that it's going to go back up in by statistics. So if we look at the 6 month period, you'll see we're almost at what you call a bottom level. Now, statistically wise, you can't say it yet because there's no little mark, if you have a look on the right hand side, like a check mark to show it has actually gone back up. Now, over this 6 months period, you won't see that yet until we see the actual graph and the whole ratio move back up, and you'll actually see a little tick that actually has gone back up. Over the 6 month period, it doesn't look like it has, but if we look at a 3 month period, it has really drastically gone down, okay? But if we look at the 1 month period, we have a tick, okay? So this is what you got to look at. We have a check mark. It's a backwards check mark, what you call. But what it's showing is that there is a bottom end at this period where it shows right now, it bottomed out right at 1.513.2, whatever it is. 1386. It bottomed out at that period. It actually bottomed out further, but graph-wise I can't pick it up properly. But it bottomed out at 112, okay, 1200 or something like that. Now the peak is moving back up, all right? You will see the peak is starting to move up. We're going to rely on that peak, that it's going to continue to go up, and it's going to go on that angle, on that 90-degree angle straight up again. For that loss that was incurred on the 90-degree angle going down, we're going to say it's going to go back up. Over the period of 1 year, it showed drastically it was a 90-degree angle, but over the 1 month period, it slowly, the angle was reduced quite considerably, but it's moving back up. And that's where you have to look at statistics. And this is the probability of what they look at, and they see what you call the bottom level. They work on the assumption that ratio and proportion, it's going to go back up. And if we look at over the 1 week period, you can actually see that it is moving back up. It hasn't gone back down below the lowest margin. It's now making its way up. And that's what they're believing. They're looking at that ratio and seeing it going up. And if we look at the daily ratio, which is very important daily to see what it's doing, it's going to have to do a big tumble back all the way back down to this area here, back down to the 1300 area, okay? It's now at 1500 and it's continuing to go. And if we look at the 8 hour mark, you can see we have what you call a 45-degree angle, which is good. Is what we want to see is a 45-degree angle, okay? We don't want to see it going down. We want to see it progress to continue to go straight up. And what I want to show you is the graph here of what I look at. And this is what we're going to rely on, that it's going to continue to do it, okay? So we're looking at the graph here, and we're looking at the line mark from here to here. If it goes down again, it should hit that mark, okay? It should hit that mark to where the blue is and then bring itself back up again. So what we have is a progression scale of an upward turn and not a downward turn in an 8-hour period, okay? So over the 8-hour period, you can show that we have not a negative scale, but a positive scale. And hopefully we're going to continue to get that. I cannot guarantee that, honestly, because it depends on the volume and how much is getting pushed in, how much is getting sold. The people are panicking. I mean, there's a lot of people losing a lot of money on SHIB right now. It's simple as that. The panic margin is the fear factor has gone through the roof. But we're relying on holding on for dear life that this is going to take off, because this has made in one day a progression of 5.13% profit, okay? So it's gone up again 5% in the day. So this is what we got to look at. We can't look at an overall that we're going to go down and we're going to crash and burn all the way a year ago. We can't look at it that way, all right? What we have to face is that it's gone down to its slump, but you'll see now, today, it actually was minus 17% yesterday. It's now at plus 11.9% today. And the progression scale is moving up. But hourly, let's look at the hourly one, is very important. You still have the progression scale going on the 1 hour, which is great, 45-degree angle. It comes back down. You'll see the mountain. It'll drop around, statistically wise, to that blue area, and it'll continue to go up. So we have a progression scale of 1.92% now in favor of SHIB going back up right now. So in the hourly point of view, you can see we have a progression scale of a positive scale and not a negative one. It's very important to look at scales to see, because statistically wise, everything is mathematical. Logarithms governs what you want to do with your investment. You don't blindly go into something until you literally see something that looks good. It's like if you would buy a car and you would look at the mileage and it's got a massive amount of mileage, are you going to buy the car? Well, that depends on what the actual things that have been done to the engine. See, even though the mileage itself has been increased, if someone's done something to the engine and rebuilt the engine, or the engine has been exchanged, the speedometer does not show that that was actually done unless it's done by paperwork and a graph and ratio in proportion to, you don't know that true mileage of that engine unless it's the specific engine that has been in that car since you bought it, and that mileage that you've put on it, you know that engine is worn to that point that it is time to change that engine. Okay? But if you continue to recondition that engine, even though that mileage is going up, you've given it a new boost of life by putting a new engine in it. And then if other parts fail, you actually put new parts in as well, which is elongating that car to last longer, yet the mileage is increasing. I'm giving you an analogy of how cryptocurrency can do the same thing. So we're looking at graphs and we're looking at progression scales. Now, it doesn't always work because the human factor is involved here, okay? The manipulation of the system is what causes a progressive graph to literally change, okay? But statistically wise, in proportion, it should stay the same way. It should. But again, the manipulation of people getting rich is going to change it. But as a person that doesn't have a lot invested into it, you can kind of assume that it's going to go up. And I'm assuming now, by the progression scale of what it is, that SHIB is heading itself back up again. It hit the lower point. And if you do a lot of research on SHIB with other analysts, you'll see that they're talking about a big surge that is soon going to take place. And then it's going to lay stagnant. Will you hit that surge, or will it be manipulated to continue to keep going down? I'm relying on the fact that it's going to go up and not down. So graph-wise, we're still looking at live in progression, this scale that we need to see it continuing to go. Now you'll see it's dropped the mountain, it's gone into a valley. This is what we call the valley area. But if we still look at our progression scale, we're still on the 45-degree angle. We should now get that valley of that negative part of what that looks like a mountain at the bottom now should go back up. Okay, it's the progression scale of how the coin is reacting over a year, over a 1 hour period. You don't see it, but over a year period, you can literally see the progression taking place of how the coin is reacting. And what we have to look at, and which is the most important thing to do, and if the person that got into it a year ago at this particular time, it spikes back over on this left-hand side of where it is here. If it spikes here, back to this progression scale, and you got in with the amount that I have, you're going to be laughing. Okay? Unfortunately, if you have a look at that period of time, a year ago I was at 65%. I was a 65% gain at that period over a year. But if we look at the scale, and again, the scale is very important, but just run it across. It's about at the bottom out period, okay? By looking at the little one on the left here, this one right here, and running them across, theoretically, it's at the bottom end over a year period. And it's ready to go back up. Now you have a look what the period was when it was at 1509 was the bottom end. You can see what it says. We're at 1544. As predicted of what ratio and proportion is, it actually is going back up, and that's what it's showing. It actually is. By looking at a scale over a year period, you could have decided that it would move up and took the risk that it would move up. And now I believe it is going to move up. So we're looking at proportion scales to see what in fact happens. You know, a lot of people ain't gonna follow me, and a lot of people don't subscribe to me. I only do this for my fellow followers that are interested in knowing what I do in my SHIB. But the fact of the matter is that when, just like before, when I predicted a certain coin and it went up sky high, Then the people came in and they said, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, I did tell you. That's the thing, you know. I can get on these lives and I can have you listening to me, and you're going to say, "Well, this is a load of BS." But I literally told people the coin when it came, and unfortunately, I got ripped off on it, and then I got out of Bitcoin, but I could have been almost $5 million richer. But unfortunately, I got ripped off with all my Bitcoin when it actually took off. But I'm not going to go into that. I've learned that the whole thing can be manipulated. I really have learned that. The whole system can be manipulated, government-wise, whatever it is. But I honestly believe that the introduction of virtual currency is going to be the future. If Bitcoin continues to go up, which a lot of people have said in statistics wise that Bitcoin is going to go crazy, sky high, like over a million in the future. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but they don't believe it will ever crash. There's too many people in it. It might drop down a bit, you know, give you the opportunity to maybe get back in it when it's cheaper. To be honest, it's too much. It's too much to invest to make the profit that I'm looking for as I would make with SHIB. Because if I get a turnaround on SHIB and I get the run that I need, and I'm going to show you if this happens or not, or I'm going to crash and burn. Okay? I will literally show you my portfolio right now that is actually down on SHIB. I have almost $13,000 of it, but I am down right now 4,460. It's actually going back down again. It was 5,000. Progressive wise, it's moving back up. It hurts to see that, but I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm in the red. If you want to come in now, can you be in the green? Again, I'm not going to say to do it. If you have some money to invest that you can afford to lose, I would say come in now. I would say come in at this point. And when people see this and it does come to pass of what it's supposed to do, you'll thank me. If it goes down further to where it is, I'm the one that loses as well. But I'm prepared to hold on for dear life. We got AHODL, holding on for dear life. People say you're stupid in doing that, but I took the risk. This was all profit that I had made over a period of time, that I invested my profit that I had on other coins and stocks and shares, and I decided that I would put it into SHIB after I missed the original climb when it literally made people that didn't know about it millionaires. A truckie that just was told about SHIB got into it and he made himself $5 million, and he's sitting there and retired happily now because he got the right time frame to hit it. Then I thought it was going to continue to go up, and I got into SHIB and I invested, and then it literally went all the way back down. So that's my luck. I got in at the wrong time and I crashed out. But as it went down to the lowest point, I started building up gradually and continuing to buy SHIB yet again, to the point of where it is now, that it's almost up to a $13,000 investment. But right now, it's only at $8,448 now that I have. So almost lost, statistically-wise, what we've lost, almost a quarter of it, a third of my investment. But I'm not giving up. And I'm going to progressively show you on these actual portfolio lives, which is what they are, progressive scales, that I'm going to continue to do my lives, and I'm going to continue to show you if I'm going to crash and burn or if I'm going to go up. So you can either subscribe to me, or you can either say, you know what, this guy's a fool, wasting all his money. But believe me, this is not the smallest one that I've lost, okay? And it's not the smallest one that I've gained, okay? Over again, progression scale wise, of making Bitcoin and making profit on Bitcoin and then changing it from the Bitcoin profit over to another type of coin, it's a risk taking, okay? You take risks. So anyway, I'm just showing you the progression on the scale. Are we going to continue to decline, or is it going to take its surge as predicted? So we'll keep you informed and keep you going. When I get a chance to go live again, I will show the progression. I will show you the actual scale. You will see of what it was at this particular time. I'll take a screenshot so people know where it was and what it's become. Okay, is it going to go down further? Am I going to almost lose everything? I'll tell you what, if it goes all the way down, I'm going to continue to buy. I'm going to continue to buy because I honestly believe it's eventually going to go back up. But I am not going to use my hard-earned money to buy it. I'm only going to use and profit my stocks and shares, and then take out and reinvest back into SHIB of what I've actually made in profit. So it doesn't hurt my pocket. And I suggest you do the same. Never, ever invest in anything that you cannot afford to lose. That's my motto, okay? You can't pay your bills, your mortgages, your payments for your car, and you're having a hard time doing that, I don't suggest that you invest in crypto, okay? I really don't, because it could even go down even more, and then, you know, it's really going to affect you financially. But if you have enough that you think that you can afford to lose, then I'm going to say go for it, you know. But don't put yourself in a position that you can't put any food on the table, or you can't pay the bills that are needed to be paid, like your electricity bill or your gas bill or whatever it is, in your home, okay? Make sure you have always that you can supply for your family first, all right? So with that said, I'm going to go off. I'm going to continue to keep you informed. This will go public. Other people will watch it, or they don't. I don't really care. This is, you know who you are, guys. You know, when you watch this and it gets played back, you know who I am, and you know how I am. Okay? All right, guys. God bless.